Hello, my treasures. It is time to bounce around with Control Warrior. The idea behind this is we are going to be using the brewmasters in order to bounce back key important battlecry minions such as Odyn that stacks or Boomboss in order to wipe out cards from our opponent's deck. There are also other good battlecries within this deck, which makes the Brewmaster package even better than you would expect. Now for the Mulligan guide, you are going to be looking for early game removal tools such as Belling Flames. This will allow you to get rid of opponents' minions that might be key to their strategy early on. Outside of this, you're going to be looking for draw power cards such as Shield Block or excavating cards such as Cobalt Miner. Now with that all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, time for a game against Druid. Let's see what they have in store for us. I know there's two versions of Dragon Druid that are floating around. The more aggro-based one, which doesn't run any of the Highlander cards, and then the Highlander more control style package. I'm curious of which one it's going to be. There were a few Druid decks that I really tried to make work this weekend. None of them worked. I will straight up say none of them worked. All of them felt like I needed at least another few days of testing, and we'll see how that turns out in the long run for me. All right, let's see what they are going to be playing. They coined out Aquatic Form and then slam down the Whelp. Okay. Okay, let's slam down Cobalt. Doesn't get rid of their minions, but it, no, never mind. I was going to say it could be the 1 cost 3 damage. You never know. Majority of the time it isn't going to be, but you never know. Okay, let's do this. At the next turn, we can wipe out the board. I'm not too worried about our HP. I'm assuming they are the aggro version. Honestly, I haven't played much against it, but it is a cool idea. I wish I had came up with it first, just because it's at least a little bit unique, right? It isn't your stereotypical Dragon Druid deck. So they drew 2 cards. One's probably going to be 12 cost dragon that reduces itself. Or is it a 9 cost? I don't remember. Right, let's draw a few cards. Oh, that's a nice top deck. Oh, that's a funny top deck. Now, I will say, 90% of the time, it is very bad to copy Boomboss. However, it is incredibly funny if we can actually make it work. Okay, let's increase the cost of the cards by 1 next turn and then just slam into this minion. Okay, Tri-Scale Deputy. Amber Whelp. Ooh. Okay, let's try to get rid of the Whelp. Draw a few cards. Oh, plating's interesting. This is going to look bad because we're going to be 1 off, and my brain, for some reason, didn't realize that until we actually did it. But we're going to get rid of the Whelpling. I don't want to deal with it, to be honest. Okay. So they're going to flood the board. Nice thing is they're emptying out their hand, which is good for us. I'm curious if that deck can actually run Rayostraza. Oh, Trapdoor. Oh, shit. Oh, maybe that doesn't matter, actually. Maybe that just straight up doesn't matter. We also really should have kept that for later. Now that I'm thinking about it, we really should have, but it is fine. Okay, so we got AoE, so it's not going to bite us in the butt, right? Okay, there's Malygos. Oh, Thaddius. And we're 1 mana off from using him. But we have legitimately the... Also, something I've noticed. Does Thaddius sometimes start as... Wind Fury is probably the safer bet, but I'm going to go for the Poisonous just in case. Because I don't want to deal with that big dragon. That is a huge dragon. Anyways, what I was saying is sometimes it feels like Thaddius starts on even polarity and sometimes it feels like he starts on odd polarity. Because I swear, the deck that I was running, not this time, but last video, I needed to wait till turn 11 to do an odd combo. For all or as a top deck, don't mind if I do. That feels so nice. That saves us so much. Okay, now we have Boomboss. Again, I said it is a bad idea to go for Boomboss first, but it's funny. I really want to do it. We could wait till we get to Odyn, or we could Boomboss. It also depends on what they slam down, because we could also just bounce back with Brewmaster. Okay, never mind. We can't bounce that back. Okay, what are the... Okay, so we'll have two taunts in front of us and them. We'll have Boomboss down. And then we just have to hope and pray. Oh, Course Rift doesn't do anything in this situation. Let's slam... I think we have to slam down the Thaddius combo. Even if it isn't the best time to do so, it does basically protect our face from a bunch of minions. And then we bounce back, Boomboss, get an additional copy, and then bounce him back one last time. Would have loved to be able to do this more, but... And then we just pass it back to them. Okay. Maybe it won't protect our face for as long as I thought. Oh, they're actually going to trade. Oh, that makes my life so much easier. Okay. Come on. I don't know what's in hand, and I don't know how many cards they have left in deck. Theatar. Theatar is interesting. I don't think we're going to be using him. Okay, so that gets rid of that. Then we slam this down. We actually probably should have just slammed down the Ox next turn. They have, what, like 3 cards left in deck? We should have it next turn. I mean, we don't. They do have more cards to draw. Hey, it is Fae. So, what's the other high-cost card? Are they running, like, Reno and Radio Straza, even though they'd have to... That'd be funny if they were. Okay, let's see what goes boom here. Okay. I don't know what we got rid of in the hand, but GG. All right, time for a game against Rogue. Let's see what they have in store for us. I wonder if this is going to be Ogre or Wishing Well. Both of which are really, really fun to play and play against, actually. Though Wishing Well can get a little bit scummy depending on what they randomly generate. Okay, so this opener doesn't look too awful. I do wish that the 3-drop on the far left side did not require a damage minion. There was a game that I actually lost just because of that. And this is also an early game where we are using a lot more of the verse or riffs. I ended up cutting them out, I think, for more removal tools or like early game minions. I can't remember. Or maybe it was a bigger excavating package. There were quite a few reasons why you would want to do it, and I ended up just cutting them out. We also did replace, it'll probably come up in this game, I'd assume, the Celestial Projectionist with Youthful Brewmasters instead. Just because if you know... Okay, it is Ogre. Because Celestial Projectionist was only good if you had the Thaddius combo within this list active. If you did not have that combo, it just felt weak. And that way, if we have the Youthful Brewmaster, we can use it on things like the... I'm trying to... Badlands Brawler. Okay, Cover Artist. Gonna draw 2 cards. Okay, Course Rift. I'm really trying to remember what I cut the rifts out for. Maybe it was an earlier game removal? Okay, Bladestorm. Oh, so we are using Blade... I am really curious. There had to be something I cut out, and I just can't, for the life of me, remember what it was at this point. Because this will draw 1, and we'll still be fine. Ignis, okay. But yeah, sometimes I liked showcasing the like earlier versions of lists. This also was before the snake got nerfed, and I just happened to run into Ogre Rogue since I know a lot of people were talking about it back then. I tested this deck twice, I should say. Once before the snake nerf, and after the snake nerf, after I found like 3 or 4 different decks that didn't work or needed a little bit more requirement or testing to do well. Okay, so we are using that. I am really curious of what I ended up cutting for. It had to be something that made the deck felt way more consistent than it did. Oh, probably one of the Theatar, and I'm trying to think of what other card. Probably some other really powerful battlecry. Ended up realizing the more powerful battlecries we have in the deck that we can easily bounce back and get advantage off of, the better. So we can use Trial by Fire, and then hopefully they won't have to remove. Oh man, that the 2-cost cards in the excavating package just feel awful to generate. I mean, they probably feel like that on purpose. Oh wait, that's the 2nd generation. Yeah, I would say that bracket of cards probably feels the worst. The more I think about it, the more it feels worse, because you have Canary, you have the buff, and then you have free 3-cost card, and the free 3-cost is probably the best out of the bunch. Okay, they are going to bounce that back. I do think that does count as a death for Pud, which is a little bit annoying. Not really something I wanted to see, but okay, so we'll go face, and then we will forge. See what we can grab here. We could even bounce back Ignis if we really feel like it. This might be one of those games where we would want to or not. I guess we can just sit on that weapon. The nice thing about having the 2 cover artists is you can actually get the weapon out for free if you play it smart, which is great. It is actually pretty great. But there are a lot of edge cases where you would want to use something else besides... Oh, Neptulon. I mean, I guess we did know they were using that package since they were using the 4-cost minion. Luckily for us, we have the Badlands Savior, or Survivor, because he is going to survive. Actually, we can use Sanitize first. Sanitize is probably the better option, mainly because then we don't have to worry about bouncing back this Savior. And we probably will. This is probably one of the games where we'll bounce it back. It's basically Shadow Step at home for this deck. Okay, Concoctor. Number 2. There are a lot of little packages that deck is using, and I don't think that's the correct way to play that deck. It's definitely something that I would try to do with a lot of decks, where I just fit as many packages as oh, that's a fun top deck. Okay, we could use Bellying Flames, but I don't think that's the best. Actually, if we Excavate once... Okay, that actually isn't bad. Because we can slam this down. Then I think we use Bellying Flames, get rid of the 3 HP minion. Hopefully that hits there. It did clear out a good chunk of the board. And then our hand is a little bit more empty now, which is great. Oh, Putricide. Okay, there's Ghoulish Alchemist. I'm okay with you getting rid of that minion. That doesn't actually affect us too much. Okay, Brewmaster. We're missing Thaddius in our hand. We can get Thaddius. We are in a good position. We could even bounce back one of these brawlers. And I got that character's name wrong about 3 or 4 times. But it's a-okay because this is going to help us a lot. Bounce it back once. And then whenever they put down Pud, sure, they're probably going to bounce Pud back. But at least we have a way to deal with the board instantaneously on the next turn. Oh, look, it's Pud. Who would have thought? And now they bounce it back once. And luckily for us, we have not 1, not 2, probably should have attacked with the 3/6s first. If I was them, that's what I would have done. But yeah, you know. Okay. Let's use From the Depths. Let's grab Cover Artist, which might be a mistake. But if we draw into Thaddius, we get the weapon for free, which is good. Basically, for the combo, we're missing Odyn and Thaddius, and then we're good to go. Because we even have the best weapon online. Though we might end up using a lot of the brewmasters in order to keep bouncing back. The good news is, as long as we have a way to bounce back, as many of the times as they have a way to bounce back, we should win the game. Okay, that's Cover Artist. We knew that was happening. We slam down this. I also briefly, very, very briefly, while they were doing their turn, thought maybe we could slam down the weapon, but I'm pretty sure we just die if we do. So we'll bounce this back, get another one. We're making their head spin a little bit here. Thunderbringer, oh, that animation is so good. It is such a shame that that card's animation is so good and they didn't print any support cards for it. Okay, there's Thaddius. Part of me just... we could slam... No. Do we want to slam down Thaddius? What are the chances they have a way to deal with it? I guess the other question is, what are the chances they have a way to deal with the weapon? We probably should have attacked into the 6/6, but I just didn't want to set a chain reaction off if I didn't have to. We still have Pud in hand. Okay. Come on. 2 cards will do it. That actually is pretty nice. Not necessarily what I wanted, but like it's actually probably pretty good. We could even have kept this for later to bounce it back. Let's grab Promo Drake. It doesn't really matter what we choose out of those options. And Gromosh. I don't know why I said Gromosh instead of just calling him Grom. Because Grom is definitely the correct choice. We also probably should have attacked with the... They still had a minion in their deck. This is why we should have attacked with Grom first, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, they're going to clear out the board. I'm assuming they're going to clear out the board and then slam down Pud. We do still have that Brawler in hand. We should be on even polarity too, so we're really just missing Odyn. I wouldn't mind Boomboss either, because Boomboss could actually get rid of Pud in their hand. Theatar actually wouldn't be bad either, because we could... no, we wouldn't survive if we did that. Okay, Course Rift doesn't do it either. All right, we forge this. We sanitize. Then Verse Rift. So this does draw us a minion. Oh, there's Odyn. Okay, so we basically have to survive 2 turns. I know I could attack. Don't get me wrong. I know we can attack. However, it is a lot funnier if we can finish him off with multiple Odyns, especially on a turn where he slams down a bunch of minions. I will give them this. They are being a really good sport about this. Okay, are we on even or odd polarity? We're on odd polarity, so we have to do this. Not necessarily what I want to do. We're going to pass the turn once again. Again, I know, we could go for lethal. We could have went for lethal last turn, but it's a lot funnier if we do it like this. There isn't a chance for us to lose, because they're just going to slam down Pud and then bounce him back probably to his hand. I'll eat my own shoe if if I'm wrong about this and we somehow end up losing. But I'm like 80 to 99% sure. Yeah, they don't have anything in their hand. All right, now behold our combo that we didn't really need to do, but we're going to do anyways because it's funny as hell. Yeah, Thaddius times 3. And then Odyn is here to protect. And then getting a projectionist. Bouncing this back. and then slamming into them for 5, and then 21, which gets us up to 37 in attack, and GG. All right, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, I played actually quite a few games with this deck. I played originally this deck before the snake actually got nerfed, and that deck completely countered this one. But now that that deck is out of the meta, this deck is actually a lot more powerful than you would actually expect. Turns out there are so many really powerful battlecrys that you can easily abuse in Warrior, which makes bouncing them back multiple times actually quite insane. However, I will say that bouncing back Boomboss is usually a mistake. You usually would rather just slam down Odyn multiple times, because this will get you a lot more advantage into the late game, allowing you to actually steal some wins pretty easily. Overall, if you like the idea of bouncing back Odyn multiple times, this is probably the best standard deck that you can actually get. And the only thing that I might change would be one cover artist for another Craftsman Hammer, but outside of that, this is a pretty fun deck to play. Now, with that all being said, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.